Welcome back to the podcast. This week, sports editor Niall Rosenberg sits down with reporter Alex Swift to discuss ASU hockey's 2025-26 season and look ahead to next year.
We also continue to examine the perception of the ASU in the second part of Myah France's ongoing series.
I'm Audrey Lippert.
And I'm Trent Ashdown, and this is State Press Play.
Welcome to State Press Play. I'm sports editor Niall Rosenberg, joined by Alex Swift. Alex, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, we're here to talk some ASU hockey. Obviously, the season's just wrapped up and more of a disappointing experience than it was last season. Alex, just what are your first kind of impressions as now, like they've obviously been knocked out of the playoffs, finishing 9th in the conference?
I mean, it's not the season that they expected, obviously. It's not the season that they hoped for, a season that you start at 14th nationally that ends without even making the conference tournament is certainly not ideal. I think that there's a lot to be said about it not being all negative. And there certainly are some positives, but I mean, the elephant in the room is that they were the odd team out in the NCHC.
I guess we could start turning the page away from the disappointing last season, and let's look at some positives. I think the goaltending was really solid. Again, this tandem that Powers continues to put out on the ice is something that has really started to work well.
Without a doubt. It has really been like a part of his identity now, and I think it's a very positive thing because you're pairing an experienced Connor Hasley, who last year spent the season bringing Bentley to the NCAA tournament. You pair him with a very young but very good Sam Urban, and obviously those are not two perfect goaltenders, but it was one of the better tandems in the country, and I think that it goes understated how good that tandem was because you have two guys who can be a Friday, Saturday starter on their own. Either of those two, with the way they played this season, I think that they could be the number one option, and they were 1A, 1B together. And I think that Sam Urban next season, every time I'm watching this team play, I'm saying, if Sam Urban comes back and is here next season, this is a really positive year. And Powers says similar things. The coach says, Sam Urban's a great guy. He's known how good he is since before he got to campus. If he spends 4 years here, he's going to end up being a top 10, top 5 goaltender in the country.
Yeah. I mean, and you could see it just a young goaltender who's already made waves and was making some amazing saves and more or less keeping the team in games. And that's what you need out of your goaltender, someone who at some nights he's going to win you the game himself. You saw that a lot. I mean, Western Michigan last season, we talked about it, they had two goaltenders that were number 1 and 2 in save percentage and goals against in the country. And you need that if you want to succeed in hockey. And like you said, if he comes back and you continue it, it's going to work out very well for this team. Now looking towards some offensive players, I believe Shimmick was up for the Hobie Baker and another player as well. And so who can Sun Devil fans kind of look back at the season and be like, wow, it was really amazing to watch them play?
I mean, if you're looking back, it's Bennett, Shimmick, and Cruz Lucius. They finished 1-3 in the conference in points.
Right.
Which is, for the 9th place team, as much as things did go wrong this season, you have the 1 and the 3 in points scored. And they had historic seasons at ASU. Bennett Shimmick might have had one of the best seasons in ASU hockey history. And then Cruz Lucius is a guy who really deserves so much praise. He was one of the top transfers in the country coming to Tempe from Wisconsin. And he had a rough 24-25, but he was injured. And the point being made about Cruz Lucius before this season was he was injured, he was not at 100%, and there were some doubters. I heard people questioning where he would fit on the lines. He was from day one, a locked-on first liner and played that way all season long. An unbelievable season. As great as Bennett Shimmick was, I think that the work that Cruz Lucius did, proving so many doubters wrong, coming back from the year that wasn't too great last year because of injuries, that is something that Sun Devil fans will have from this season to be, what a season that Cruz Lucius had.
What are you looking forward to in the future with Potter? Do you think he tries to make the step towards the AHL next season, or do you think he'll come back to Tempe?
I mean, that's the main question of the offseason. There's been reports that he wants to return to Tempe, but at the end of the day, he was a first-round draft pick for a Calgary Flames team that, at this point, they're what, bottom 5 in the NHL? Yeah. I mean, they're in the race for Gavin McKenna at this point.
Yeah.
So I think that if the Flames get on the phone and say, we want Potter, I don't think that's something that you can say no to.
Right.
But it really, that's what it comes down to. The issue is, obviously, he's been injured. So he's coming off of a relatively serious injury, and the decision made about him was, we're just going to focus on I believe it was surgery, so long term he is as healthy as possible. That was the worry was Calgary's going to want him either in the AHL or the NHL in October when the season starts. Yeah. But there's been reports coming out that maybe Potter wants to stay, that Potter could stay an extra year because he only got really half a season for his sophomore year after such a great freshman year.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, Potter holds the power in this situation. He doesn't have to sign to the Flames this season. I mean, it depends on if you think that's a smart decision or not if you're Potter. Like, if he's guaranteed time in the NHL, there's no way he doesn't take that opportunity. But at the same time, it's like, I could spend another season in college and then immediately jump into the NHL lineup or be a first liner in the AHL, get more experience. So it'll be really interesting to see what he decides to do, because at the end of the day, like, it's all doors are open for someone who would really make a big difference on this team next season with whatever the offseason brings. Now, on to some of the other guys. Keevan, what do you think of his season and some of the expectations that were automatically set for him?
I mean, being drafted in the second round, a lot of expectations, a relatively quiet year. There were times where he was being scratched, but at the end of the day, he was very young. And I think that it's a testament to kind of the types of players that Greg Powers brings to his team. Is he wants the younger players so he can develop them. This was obviously not a perfect season, but at the end of the day, if he spent this season maybe in the USHL and it was next year, that would be his first on campus. I think that if next year was what we saw from him this year, it would be, not perfect from him. So getting the opportunity to just develop him, get him up to speed on college hockey is always going to be positive. And the hope is that maybe next year he can be a third liner, a second liner, and take that step up. Because there are times when, like, he's sharing a line with Kyle Smolin and learning a lot. You can see the leadership that Kyle Smolin has, and it obviously rubs off on Ben Keevan.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize the difference between college hockey and the junior league. The junior leagues are not even close to how physical college hockey is. It's one of the most physical sports in college. I mean, these people lay each other out. They're big, they're bigger than you think for how young they are. And for someone like you said, Smolin, to kind of teach them. Smolin, I mean, you talk about an A-plus character person. He is always talking whenever media after losses, anything. And he is somebody that a lot of Sun Devil fans really grew to love during his time in Tempe. And what do you kind of hope for the future with a guy like Kyle Smolin?
I mean, the fact that he's coming back for an extra year is incredible. He's going to be the captain. Right. He won it as a junior. He's going to wear the C as a senior. And I think that's for a team that has so many returning players. I mean, they lost 2 forwards that graduated. So everyone else is returning, and a lot of them are sophomores, freshmen, or incoming freshmen. And to get to learn under a guy like Kyle Smolin is really going to mean a lot to them, because you can see, like, Carmelo Crandall is a guy who shared the line a lot with Kyle Smolin in that December-January period. By the time that February hit, he was a second liner and sometimes looked like good enough to be a first liner. Right. And I think that a big part of that is because he was spending time on the line with Kyle Smolin. And Kyle Smolin has said, like, I don't look at it as first line, second line, third line, fourth line. I just look at it as, these are the 2 guys I'm playing with. I'm going to do my job. Right. And that's the mindset that a lot of, like, in college hockey, you kind of need. Yeah. Because there's, the Gavin McKenna's, the Colin Potters who are coming in at 17, 18 years old, playing against 25-year-olds who have, got a COVID year, got a redshirt year, got a medical redshirt year, and are just playing to play out those last years playing college with their friends. And those are 2 very different types of players and 2 very different body types as well. Yeah. So Kyle Smolin, a very physical guy, he says he wants to block a lot of shots. If you can instill that in the guys who are already great with stick handling and very skillful, you're going to get really well-rounded players up and down the lines.
Yeah, and to more round out this defense, and again, a very young group, what do you kind of expect their biggest growth to be going into next season?
I think that without a doubt it's Lincoln Keene. Lincoln Keene was the youngest player on the roster. He was born in November of 2007. That is unbelievably young. And he's, it was 17 when the season started. Right. So he's a guy that when he comes back, he was already looking like one of the better defensemen on this roster. I'm really excited to see what happens with him and his development in the future. I think he is undoubtedly, maybe it's not next season, but the season after, he's going to be probably the best defenseman that this school has on that roster because he is unbelievable. I also really like Brazen Bozer. Brazen Bozer, there were a lot of questions in the preseason about where the lines would work out for the D-corps. Brazen Bozer really shot up the charts during the season and became kind of a locked-on 1 and 2 with Joel Shelberg, and that is you're returning kind of your top 2 defensemen, which is really important. You're only losing 1 defenseman in Tucker Ness. Great defenseman, but he wasn't necessarily the guy being the first-line defenseman for most of the time, as important as he was. The fact that Shelberg and Bozer are coming back, I think is really good for this team because, 1, it's 2 guys who spent a lot of time together, and 2, they're just great players.
If you had one thing to tell Sun Devil fans watching about hockey for next season, what would you tell them?
I think it's just don't give up. It was a young team, a team placed under a lot of expectations. You're returning a very similar roster with a lot of really good freshmen. There's a lot of freshmen that are coming in that are looking really, really good. Just don't give up yet. There should be hope going into next season with the way this roster looks.
Thank you for watching State Press Play. Once again, my name's Niall Rosenberg. That's Alex Swift. We'll see you next time.
While the 2025-26 season has come to a close, ASU will be looking to bounce back next year, where our reporters will be on the ground covering the new season.
If you'd like to support student journalism at ASU, consider donating through College Media Madness, a nationwide student fundraising program that runs from March 15th to April 5th.
We will be posting fun, behind-the-scenes content throughout the competition, so if you'd like to support our efforts, please visit collegemediamadness.com and click on the State Press.
Next, we have the second part of Myah France's ongoing series on the perception of ASU and how it affects its students.
Welcome back to State Press Play. I'm Myah France, and I'm here with Nakaiya.
My name's Nakaiya. I'm currently a sophomore. My major is criminal justice, and I'm in Delta Gamma.
Beautiful. All right, I just wanted to know a little bit about how you perceived ASU before you came and how that affected your decision to come.
Yeah, I think when people talk about ASU, there's a lot of negative connotations about it. I know when I would talk to my family, they would ask me if I was sure if I wanted to come here.
So then what influenced you to really transfer over to ASU despite everything that was seen?
Well, I was supposed to come my freshman year and some things got in the way, and I also felt like the people around me kind of judged me for wanting to go to ASU. So I backed away from it and I decided that I was going to go to community college for a year. But around, I want to say October, November, I was like, I should have gone to ASU. Like, I don't know why I was letting everyone's thoughts and perceptions change why I wanted to go. So I did the application to transfer literally within that month.
Beautiful. How did you perceive sororities before you came, and how did that affect your decision to rush?
Honestly, I didn't know a whole lot about sororities beforehand. The stuff that I saw on social media was very oh, they party all the time, nothing positive about how impactful they can be.
How does your specific sorority use their social media platform?
I would say we post a lot, and mainly all of our events, a lot of advocacy things too.
And what were some things that were quickly debunked for you after getting into a sorority like Delta Gamma?
I think the first thing that was debunked was about how cliquey and negative it was, that I thought it was going to be. I was welcomed with open arms as soon as I joined Delta Gamma, and I've created friendships and bonds that I dreamt of having in college.
All right, so how did you perceive the ASU lifestyle that's seen throughout everything and that especially thrives out of sororities? Is that accurate or not?
I think it really depends on where you put yourself and who you surround yourself with. So with me, all my friends are very major oriented, career focused.
I guess that kind of leans into also the ASU effect that's seen a lot as well. Would you say that's accurate? Because I would say that also thrives out of sororities as well.
Oh yeah,
France.
definitely. I've seen it with some girls for sure. Absolutely. I'm like waiting for mine to come. But I think it also just depends on who you're around. I think for me, I've had like an inner ASU effect of being here, and just like exploring who I am and all my friendships and becoming a better person myself.
Why do you think people focus on the negatives of sororities versus the positives?
I think that people who are not in Greek life, it's just unfamiliar and they only hear all the rumors. They're not actually in it and saying the impact and all the positives and how most of the negative things and the rumors aren't true at all.
Do you think it's different being on the downtown Phoenix campus versus Tempe? Like, did you feel it kind of out there?
Absolutely. And that's why I think I created the friends that I did, because being on the downtown campus, you can't just go to the Greek Leadership Village and go hang out with everyone at the house. It's like you're further away from everyone. You have to either take the shuttle or drive down. So it can be hard sometimes, absolutely, but also I've become even more closer with like all the downtown girls.
And that's all for this week's State Press Play. I'm Audrey Lippert.
And I'm Trent Ashdown. State Press Play is produced by video podcast editor Trent Ashdown and podcast editor Audrey Lippert. Our original music is produced by Ellie Willard and Jake LaRue.
Special thanks to our multimedia editors.
If you'd like to see more stories like this, check out statepress.com. See you next week.